Well, I don't know what happened, but something happened where the stream just went down. It just went down. So you know how the devil works. So again, where I left off at is when we're dealing with situations where children had two parent home and unfortunately something happened where again military sickness illness and they're catapulted into a one family home. It's not an easy situation. um what I like to touch on is those children or those parents or those people that glorify the single parent home. Anytime you have a child that is brought up with just the father, there is something that is missing when the mother isn't there. Sometimes a child can be not sensitive enough, not balanced, um, unable to communicate their feelings because women do tend to communicate their feelings in most situations than men, better than men. When you have children that just have their mother, you tend to have children that tend to have the tendencies of the mother, which is not really good when it comes to dealing with boys. So sometimes women are emotional and they're reactive. They move at times before thinking in emotional situations. And as men, we don't want that because men can be more destructive in a thought process or a thought pattern like that. So we tend to want our men or our young boys to think. You want your young girls to think too, but understand the point I'm trying to make. We want our young boys to think. The world is a lot more forgiving when women act emotionally, opposed to when men do. The world isn't that forgiving when it comes to men. So I'm gonna back the video up a little bit. Now again, I'm sorry for the technical difficulty that happened. That definitely wasn't me. So
For teen pregnancy. Multiple surveys and studies are more likely to experience this. It can definitely happen with girls as well. Girls are at a higher risk for teen pregnancy. Multiple surveys and studies have shown a link between single-parent homes and teen pregnancy. While unplanned pregnancies aren't always a bad thing, teen pregnancies in particular can involve certain issues and complications, such as lack of financial opportunities and access to higher education. Some have theorized that this correlation is due to the lack of a male figure in the household, which can have negative psychological effects on a young girl.
now see, this is the nonsense that you know it pisses me off. That is definitely due to not having a father in the home. Ain't no damn some programs or some kind of tests that they ran shows that this is due to not having a father. It's due to not having a father, man. That's what it's due to. The first man that a daughter falls in love with is her father. She in turns uses that subliminally and subconsciously and weighs and measures every other man, if there's a male figure, against every other man that she encounters in life. So when you have that father that validates his daughter, that father that teaches her and shows her what her wealth is, because once she knows what her wealth is, she can then demand her value. Let me say that again. When she knows what her worth is, her worth, she then can demand her value. But she has to know what her worth is. She has to know that she's daddy's little girl. She has to know that This example of this man that gets up every morning to go out there and work, this man that reveres his family, this man that protects his family, this man that respects his family, this man who loves his family. These are the things that she gets. These are the things, these are the building blocks that these little girls need. So when this woman says that some studies show, come on, man. Come on. Let's get past that. We're all grown-ups here. We're all grown-ups. We're making grown-up decisions. You have young people making grown decisions and not equipped to understand the decisions that they're making and what ramifications it's going to have on their families or on their life. So we need to understand what this is. We need to attack these situations and attack being specific. When you go to the doctor, he doesn't just give you random medicine for anything. They run tests to specifically find out what your issue is, or at least they're supposed to, and attack that issue or attack that sickness that you have, that ailment. This is what we need to deal with. You find this situation where teen girls become pregnant, promiscuous, not caring about the decisions that they make when there is no father. The majority of the times when there is no father in the home. Now we're talking about a good man. We're not talking about a derelict. Because then she's going to have the wrong examples of what a good man, or the wrong examples of what a man should be. And what she's going to do is measure that dirtbag up against every other man that she meets in her life. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. This is so important. This part of this study, I don't understand why they would play it down, but this part is so important. You have a lot of these young, precious girls out there looking for validation, looking for someone to say that they're beautiful, looking for that love that they're missing, that they did not get from a man being there, a man example, a good man. So the first dirtbag that comes up and says that they're beautiful or gives them some type of compliment, they're the first, that's the first guy that they open their legs up to and get pregnant by. And this cycle continues. Because all this dude was doing was shooting game. He's seen that this little girl or this young person wasn't equipped. And he came in like the vulture he is, swooped down and defiled her. So when this lady says that they've done some studies to show that it's due to not having a father in the home, come on. It's due to not having a father in the home. Now, again, there are exceptions to the rule where this does not happen. We're talking about the majority of the times, and this transcends black, white, yellow, green. This transcends that. This transcends color. Because whether you're black, white, yellow, brown, if there's no father in the home, you're still not validated. There is no validation there. You're missing a key component to what you should have. Peanut butter is always better with jelly, man. Always. I mean, you can eat peanut butter without jelly, but it's always better with jelly. So you need to have the two. The two works together. What men bring to the table and what women bring to the table are two different things. And that's what makes up a balanced child. in most cases. This is the point that we're trying to push here. Exactly, Nappy Duck. It takes two halves to make a whole. So when she says that in some studies, that's wrong. And again, this is not just one way. When a man is just bringing up a daughter and the mother is not in the picture, there's a lot of things you tend to see that this young woman or this young child tend to take on male tendencies. She starts to look at things differently. There's things that a woman can teach a daughter that men just can't do. There's things that a child is going to look at their mother and learn, not by teaching, but by observing. This is how a lot of children learn. Not by you teaching them and telling them do this, do that. They learn by watching you. Because what? They want to see if it works. And if they see that their parent did it and it worked, then maybe it might work for me. So just be mindful of that, new parents, that your children are going to learn by watching you. Please keep that in mind. And we have to try and stop the cycle. Let children be children. You youngins out there, I know you're searching for love. And I know you're searching for validation. This is to the girls. But I beg you, don't be so quick to grow up. Enjoy your childhood. Enjoy your childhood, man. As when you get older, you start to pay bills. There's a lot of things that come with being grown up that as grown-ups, we reminisce. When we were children, we didn't have a care in the world. The only thing we had to worry about was grades, school. That's it. Cleaning up your room, your chores. Nothing else. Enjoy that. Enjoy it, because it's the building blocks and the foundation for who you are going to be in the future.
Link between single-parent homes and teen pregnancy. While unplanned pregnancies aren't always a bad thing, teen pregnancies in particular can involve certain issues and complications, such as lack of financial opportunities and access to higher education.
So what they're saying is, what will happen is in teen pregnancy, you'll get pregnant, and for you to go out there and find a job, or for you to go out there and get your degree, or for you to go out there and pursue a good career, it's going to be a lot harder for you to do that when you're a single parent, opposed to when you have the two halves that Nappy Duck was talking about. You know what I'm saying? If you have the two halves, then while one half is out there, getting the bacon to bring it home so it can be cooked, the other half is watching the child. It's very hard to do it by yourself. It's not easy. There are some single parents that make it look easy. But if you sit down and you converse with them, they'll let you know it's not an easy situation. It's not. It's a lot of dedication, and a lot of you youngins are having children and you're losing your childhood. Don't be so quick, man. Enjoy your childhood. Enjoy your teenage years. Don't get it twisted. You'll be old enough to where those rules and obligations of being an adult comes in. It's waiting for you. Don't rush it. I beg you guys, don't rush it.
Theorize that this correlation is due to the lack of a male figure in the household, which can have negative psychological effects on a young girl. Single-parent families can actually be more beneficial in some cases.
Now, this is the thing, too, again, that I think that they need to be more specific. Now, I think maybe because it's not that long of a video, this is why they're talking so general. However, in situations like this, you need to be more pinpoint accurate. You need to, because people are actually looking for help out there, and they're looking for any place to get help. So when you have their attention, if it's for 5 seconds, 2 seconds, you need to be on point. Here at Bolo TV, we speak the truth here. The truth will be heard here. It's going to hurt. It's meant to hurt. But also understand it's done out of love. It's not done because we want to break you down. It's not done because we want to hurt you. It's done because we love you. It's done because we want this place to be better. We want this earth, while we're here, we want this place to be better. All right?
More and more children growing up in single-parent households, more research is being done on not only the negative effects, but also the positive ones. Some studies have pointed out that in some cases, a single-family household can actually be more beneficial. The main example would be an extremely stressful two-parent home versus a peaceful, relaxed single-parent home.
So now in this example that she gave, there's a lot of moving parts to this. So we can't cover it all. We're going to cover most or a good portion of it. In a situation like this, when you're having a stressed two-parent home, it's maybe because they're two young adults that had children too young. It's maybe because they were just both smashing and the woman happened to get pregnant. And instead of using protection or handling it the way it needs to be handled in certain situations where, you know, you can put the child up for adoption or whatever the woman decides to do, she decided to have it. Knowing that this guy is not a good guy, a lot of women think that a child can change the man. So he might have a short temper because he didn't have a father. So his temperament is very short or has none at all. And meanwhile, while all of this is going and you're trying to figure out life, because at the same time, you guys are young yourselves. You're barely out of your 20s or barely in your 20s. You're raising this young life. And this young life, like a sponge, is absorbing all of that negativity. And it's going to take all of that into their relationship. And this is how the cycle continues. So here, when you're talking about a two-parent stressed home, this statement I'm going to make is for women. When you're in a situation and your man or your child's father is very violent, very abusive, mentally, emotionally, physically, you need to get out. You need to get out. Don't try and make it work. For your sake and your children's sake, you need to get out. Try and make it work from a safe place. Don't try and make it work in that war zone. Again, let me say that again. Try and work it out from a safe place. Go to a friend's house. Go to your parents' house. Get out. Go someplace. Don't try to make it work from that war zone. Don't. I've seen and I've heard too often where women have left too late. When I say too late, I mean to the point where the man took her life, abused her really bad. Then she decides to leave. You have to see what the writing is. You know, whatever issues he may have mentally, he might have depression. We do have that, and that's what this channel is created for. While he's going through whatever he's going through, you need to get to a safe place. You are the keeper of your child or children, both you and the father. And if it's vice versa, father, you need to get out. You need to think of your child. You need to get to a safe place and figure it out from there.
When there is extreme conflict, violence, or stress in a two-parent home, A single parent home is actually a much more beneficial environment for the child. That's definitely something worth keeping in mind as we list some of the negative effects here.
Well, basically, what the hell she was saying is if you got beef in the crib, a lot of the times it's a better situation to separate yourself. If you and the man is not working, then you need to find a better situation. Stop trying to make something work that you know isn't going to work. Just because two people love each other does not mean they need to be together. Understand that. Because two people love each other, it does not mean they need to be together. So figure out that you guys do not need to be together, but you have a love for each other. You don't want to see any harm come to each other. But the bigger picture is you have a little life that you have to support. You have a little life that you need to be examples for. You have a little life that you don't need absorbing all that negativity. There's going to be enough negativity in the world that your child is going to have to go through and endure. They don't need it when they're babies, when they're young.
Kids with a single parent might end up having a stronger relationship with that parent. There's always a very special bond that forms between children and their parents. A single parent might end up.
I'm going to take a quick pause for a second for the cause. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I had an issue I had to go take care of. Right? So now we're going to start going into the negative effects of what a single parent home could be. All right?
Keeping in mind as we list some of the negative effects here. Kids with a single parent might end up having a stronger relationship with that parent. There's always a very special bond that forms between children and their parents. But one study suggests that in a single parent home, that relationship could potentially be even stronger and unique in a way that is unseen in two-parent homes. Not only is the relationship often stronger in this situation, but the children and parents are more dependent on each other, more affectionate, and more likely to work together towards a common goal.
Okay. I mean, that can happen. But in most situations, that doesn't. Okay. So you have a lot of these I'm going to compartmentalize this portion. You have a lot of these guys that are raised with just their mother. And they take on, and I touched this a little bit earlier, and they have the temperament of women. And understand what I mean when I say that. The attitude, the patience, being quick to react and not quick to hear. A lot of these are the traits of women. And a lot of these men running around, and I'm saying men, have these tendencies. This is why we're killing each other on a world time high. Because most of the times when you have a good man in the house, a good man is going to try his best to be patient, to try and reason why this situation is the way it is. The majority of the times. Not saying all the times, but the majority of the times. A woman is the emotional part of a man. So you have these men running around without the understanding of what it is to be a man, because they did not have the example of what a man is. Yeah, a woman can tell her baby boy how not having a man can hurt, but you can't teach him how to be a man. You can't teach him what the rules are to manhood. This is something that's handed down by another man, and vice versa with a little girl. There are things I cannot teach my daughters. I can't. I can try, but it comes better, more accurate, and pinpoint when it comes from their mother. This is just reality. So when you have women saying, I don't need no man, or man saying, I don't need no woman, you're out of your mind. We need each other. We can't think that you raising this child, that this child is going to be normal. This child is going to be missing something. That doesn't mean that the child is not going to be able to be functioning and be a productive citizen in the world. No, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is that there still will be something missing by not having the other parent there. We need to understand that. So if it doesn't work out between you, the parents, you need to be more aware and less selfish, and learn to work cohesively to make this child's life better, or as normal as it can be. Make this child's life as normal as it can be. Not cursing out the father when he's not around, and not cursing out the mother when she's not around. That doesn't help, or trying to sway the child to either side. You're hurting the child. You're not helping the child. You're hurting the child in the long run. Remember, you're trying to make this child balanced. And being balanced means that she gets, or he gets, information from the left and information from the right, and they both come together and make that cohesive pot of understanding, which is our children. This is what it's about. Our children are going to have enough nonsense that they have to deal with in the world. They should be able to come home, and that should be their safe haven. Their home is supposed to be their safe haven, not their jail.
Before we continue to the next point, we want to share with you a recommended video from BetterHelp. Jesus talks about 7 ways to overcome emotional neglect. If you find yourself to be somebody who suffered from emotional neglect, you may want to check it out after this video.
All right, man, just move on. Come on.
Kids with single parents might end up being less satisfied in life. In a slightly alarming study, research was done on tens of thousands of individuals to test their overall feeling of satisfaction in life. The study found a small but persistent decrease in life satisfaction among those who had grown up with a single mother throughout childhood.
Did you hear that?
Kids with single parents.
This is the thing. This is the damn thing that
if you find
pisses me off
yourself to be
again.
Somebody who suffered from emotional neglect, you may want to check it out after this video.
All right.
Kids with single parents might end up being less satisfied in life.
You see what it might be? What do you mean might? Overwhelmingly, they will be. Now, what does that mean? Overwhelmingly, there might be a small minority of children that are satisfied in life. Yeah. But the majority of them won't. Because listen to the next statement right after she says that. Listen to the next statement.
In a slightly alarming study, research was done on
slightly alarming. This is what I'm saying to you. That they try to keep us they're trying to keep us programmed. So you have to listen to what these people are saying. Okay? Listen to what she's saying. And then listen to how many people they tested.
In a slightly alarming study, research was done on tens of thousands of individuals.
Tens of thousands of individuals in a slightly alarming. Now, this wasn't really, alarming. This is slightly. But we did do this test on tens of thousands of children. And listen to the results of this. Slightly alarming.
In a slightly alarming study, research was done on tens of thousands of individuals to test their overall feeling of satisfaction in life. The study found a small but persistent decrease in life satisfaction among those who had grown up with a single mother throughout childhood.
So you see what I'm saying? Now, this is not something that, I'm trying to perpetuate. This is what reality is. This is how important a father is. This is in by no way means that women are not important. Mothers are not important. It's not what we're saying. However, what I am saying, what this study is saying, that fathers are equally as important. So you shouldn't be saying, I don't need no man. Maybe you don't, but your child does. So if that's what you want to claim and you want that to be a mantra, by all means, let it be. But don't make that decision for your child. If you don't want a man, cool. Your child needs their father. There's a lot that he brings to that table. Now, again, I'm speaking about good men. Now, you can still be a good man and not work out with your child's mother. You can still be a good woman and not work out with your child's father. That just means that you two weren't meant to be together. That's all it means. But in saying that, don't take out your aggressions and your anger on the children, on the child. We have to stop being selfish and understand that this is about the child. It's about the condition of their life that we're trying to bring up.
They found that these individuals were less likely to experience educational and economic success and good physical health. Additionally, they found a connection between single mother childhoods and unmet relationship goals. But remember, there was only a small decrease in life satisfaction when compared to
You see what I'm saying? You see, that's that feminist movement nonsense. But remember, it was only a small. Really? Are you seeing in the streets what's going on? It ain't small. It's not small, man. It is huge. It is huge. We need two parents. Doesn't mean that we need to be together. So what does this mean? This means that you men and you women need to start being more responsible who you sleep with. When you look at that chick that's banging, and you know she a thought, you know it, you better understand that there's a chance that could be your child's mother. And women, when you look at that dude that got his pants hanging down to his ass, a thug, got no education, got no job, but hanging on the corner all day, you better realize that that could be your child's father. Now, here's another situation. When these children are not taught different, when these children are not shown different, when these children do not have examples of what a good mother and a good father is, a good man and what a good woman is, this is what they're going to look for. That thug and that thought. That's what they're going to look for, and that's what they're going to bring home. We have to stop the cycle. We have to stop. Men, when you get that woman pregnant by mistake or whatever, It's not about you anymore. You better understand you're bringing a little life into this world. And you should do better than what was done for you. Or just as good if you had a good life, if you had a two-parent home. It's not the child's fault. It's your fault. You chose to sleep with this woman. So it's now your responsibility to be that example for that little girl, that little boy, of what a good father, good man, good provider, good guider, good leader should be. Vice versa for women. Morality doesn't change. The standard of morality doesn't change for men and women. It's the same. We're not talking about the standard of physicality. We're talking about the standard of morality. It's the same. The nurturer, the protector, the emotional support. This is what women are. This is what you're supposed to bring to the table. And together, we make this work for the betterment of the child.
Two parents. There could be an increased risk of psychiatric issues. There's a huge wealth of scientific literature which states that single-parent homes are a risk factor for a number of mental health issues in children, including depression and psychological distress.
Look at that. Depression, psychological distress, and etc. when there is only one parent. This is the effect that it's having on these children of not having a mother or father present. There's something missing. There is something missing. Depression and psychological distress. More than likely, these children will exhibit. There is something that's missing from them. Doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to cope in society. Doesn't mean that they're not going to be a productive citizen. But it does mean that they will be damaged. That's what it means. And they're going to cope the best way they know how. This is Bolo TV, man. We speak the truth here. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Y'all like and y'all share and subscribe to all the nonsense that goes on in this YouTube world. We're trying to build a platform here to help our community. To help those with mental illness, to help those before they commit suicide, before they do something stupid, before they think of doing something dumb. We're trying to be that channel that they can come and say, you know what? This is a place where I can be safe. I can call in, have a conversation. No one knows who I am. No judgment. We'll get you to the right people, man. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Once again, we're not saying this happens to all children in these situations, but there's definitely a link.
Basically, what she's saying is there's a small minority of children that won't go through this, but the majority of children will. They will. Our job is to try and make the road for our children a little easier. They're going to get their bumps and bruises. They're going to have to jump over their hurdles. That's in life. But whatever we can do as parents to make things a little easier for them, that's our job. We're supposed to do that. It's not a chore. That's our job. That's what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to want to do that. This child didn't want to come into this world. He didn't ask, or she didn't ask to be brought into this world. Because of our foolishness, for those where it happened by mistake or we didn't plan for it, we have a child. We have to take care of this child. We have to take care of this child.
Also, we have to mention that the trauma of potentially negative memories might be the root cause, not necessarily single-parent homes specifically.
Well, where do you get the negative memories from? By not having that other parent there. Little girls, not having that father to say, I love you, you're my princess, treating you like you should be treated, protecting you like you should be protected, so that you don't have to go into that world and look for it because you already know what it feels like. You felt it before. So when you know that genuine love comes to you by that man you're supposed to be with, it matches. It's something familiar. You know what this is. I felt this before. And for you sons that have, when you go out there and you're looking for that good woman, it's the same thing. You look for that good one, you know what it feels like. Why? Because you had a good woman at home, a good mother. That was a good example. So when you meet that good woman, she has similar traits, you're like, this is familiar. I like this. You're not trying to figure it out on the fly. This is why you end up being pregnant. Because you're trying to figure it out, because you don't know what that feeling feels like. It's not normalcy to you. It's foreign. And then that cycle continues because you raise a ratchet child because you were raised ratchetly. That's the only thing you know. And this goes for men and women. We have to break the cycle.
Children with single parents benefit immensely from a strong relationship with their grandparents.
Now, this is I'm kind of touchy on this one because a lot of the times when you're dealing with, let's deal with it separately. When you're dealing with women that are single parents or men that are single parents, they use the grandparents as the example of parents when it shouldn't be. The grandparents already raised you. So instead of the child's father being the example of what a man should be, the child's grandfather is the example. So what she's not saying is a lot of these single parents compensate with their grandparents to be that example, which it shouldn't be. You have a lot of these grandparents being the mothers and fathers to their grandchild because their damn child is out there running amok, not taking responsibility. We speak the truth here. Like, share, subscribe.
Let's end things with something positive. What can be done to avoid some of these negative effects and help children in these situations?
Know who the hell you sleeping with. That's how the hell you get this figured out. Know what you're doing. Know that there's a chance that this woman or this man you sleeping with can be your child's father or mother. And I just don't want to be with this woman for 21 years, and I know she ain't going to be a good mother. So don't sleep with her. I know that this dude don't have no job. He wears his pants down to his damn ankles, and he doesn't know how to speak properly. I don't want him being my child's father. That's how you stop it. Knowing how you felt, knowing that hole that was in you, why would you want to transfer that into your child? Why? If you knew how it hurt not having a father, not having a mother. Why would you do that? Why would you continue the cycle? Your job is to stop that cycle. That's your job. Your job is to protect that child. That's your job. So, in that situation, change it. Change it. We're sleeping around too easy out there, knowing that the effects is this woman can have a child, and you don't want to be with that woman. You don't want to be with that man. So you need to know that I need to chill. I need to strap up. Is she on birth control? This is what you need to start doing. That's how you stop this cycle. Knowing how it made you feel. Do you want someone else to feel that way? No. So stop it.
One study suggested a perfect solution. Encourage a strong relationship with the child's grandparents. The recent study discovered that this simple act can...
She's saying that because that love that our grandparents had, it's not here. That love that our grandparents had was forever. That love that our grandparents had, it was do or die. That's what that love was. It's not here anymore. That's why these children are bringing their children to their grandparents, because they know they don't have it in them to give. So they go to the source. They go to the grandparents. That's unfair to the grandparents. Not that grandparents don't want to be grandparents, but they raised your black ass, your white ass, your Asian ass, and whatever other nationality is out there. Why the hell do they need to do it again? They need to enjoy themselves. This is your responsibility. You slept with that man. He slept with that woman. Why the hell do they need to raise your child? But you know what? As grandparents, and they see that there's a lack of, they take on that responsibility. You have grandparents still working to pay for their grandchild's school. This is unfair. It's unfair. And it shouldn't be that way. We need to start being more responsible. Y'all, it starts with us. Look in the mirror. Like, share, and subscribe.
Considerably boost social skills and help reduce behavioral problems in adolescence. This is a great example of how psychological research can really help those in need. What do you think about kids growing up in single-parent homes?
Now, that doesn't mean that you don't go to your grandparents for help. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is we need to start doing better. Our grandparents should be our second line of defense. We should be the first line of defense. The grandparents should be second line of defense. They shouldn't be the person that we just automatically go to. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't go that way. So we have to do better. We have to do better. And I know we can do better. I know we can. I know we can. We have to do better. You know what I'm saying? Because our children's lives are at stake. So we have to do better. We have to love each other. We have to talk to each other. And we have to be that example that this child can be happy and this child can look towards and say, this is whom I want to be like. I want to be like my father. I want to be like my mother. I want to be like them. So I'm going to play my man Saint. You know how we do it. This is Testimony. You can get his album Concrete Rose on Apple Music, Google Play Music, or Spotify. Again, this is my man Saint. Check it out. This is Testimony.
Yeah, this my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they tryna make me fumble. But mama, she made a king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. This my testimony. Yeah, this my testimony. I'm running through the jungle and they tryna make me fumble. But mama, she made the king one of the grace, so I don't stumble. I pray up to the stars, cause all these scars, they keep me humble. And I gotta get a bag for what we have, I make it tumble. Was a youngin' running around, was so hard-headed, stayed in trouble. Mama, now your son hot, check the pot, I'm starting to bubble. For the days I was stuck in the rain and I felt that pain, I make it double. On this track, I'm digging deep, so you complete like this my shovel. If you ain't thugging with me, you my enemy, I can't trust you. And if you cross that line and bitch, you dying, I'm gon' bust you. And if you riding, then you dying, nigga, off the muscle. And I'm tired of mama crying, it's suicide, I'm tired of fussing. And I turned them to believers, thank you, Jesus, I came from nothing. And the niggas playing with demons, I done seen it for the money. When the folks off up that time and they talking, nah, nigga, is you right? When the ops fight down your block and make it hot, nigga, is you slide? You ain't never had no love for me, so nigga, why you lying? I done been through so much pain, I felt that hate, my soul be crying. I was raised up as a king, was taught to win, I claim what's mine. And I know that this my destiny, was made to lead my kind. And if people want the best of me, so I'm forever fight. Yeah, this my testimony. On me, yeah, this my testimony. You know, I was raised as a young king, and they never want to see us prevail. They always try to make me fold. But I done been through my trials and tribulations. And through it all, I stood tall and faced them head on. For any nigga out there that done been through what I done been through, stay solid. I just feel like I'm a prophet. I feel like God put me here for a reason. And all praise go to Yahweh.
That's my man Saint. All right, Concrete Rose. Again, you can cop that on Apple Music, Google Play Music, Spotify. You need to, and check out his channel on YouTube, Saint HSE or HCE, sorry. Saint HCE. Check it out, man. Really. So we need to start being more positive role models for our children. We have to be. We have no choice. We have no choice. This is my man, Tommy Sotomayor. His documentary. It's called Fatherless America. When I tell you that, it's prolific, man. It shows the effect of not having a father in the home. So I really strongly suggest that, you get it and watch it. Watch it with your family.
Children from fatherless homes in this country, 5 times more likely to commit suicide than children who have a father in the home. 32 times more likely to run away. 20 times more likely to have a behavioral disorder. 14 times more likely to become sexually aggressive or commit rape. 10 times more likely to engage in drug abuse. It just breaks my heart. No heat, no judgment.
A woman will open up and say, you know what, not having my father really is a problem, really is an issue. And I wish we could get more Black women to just point out, wait a minute, it's not cool that your kids don't have that father. It's not it's not cool that you didn't grow up with yours. It's not, I don't need no man. It's not, fathers don't matter. It's not niggas ain't shit. It's actually we as a people, we as a culture, we as a community have to deal with each other. And in dealing with each other, if we're creating children, if we're having little innocent beings who only thing they know about themselves is what we present about ourselves. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you guys. If you are a Jew and you know that you must be a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, that matters. Your goal is higher. What you want to be in life is exalted. But if you think about what happens with us as black men, our goal in life is where? What do we have to look up to? Who do we have to look up to? Was our fathers impressive? Was our grandfathers impressive? It doesn't even matter what you say sometimes to your children. It's what you do. It's what you have. It's the presence you command. It's the maturity of how you deal with each other and deal with other people. And that's the biggest thing we need in the black community. Where does that start? To me, it's with fathers. If your man is confident, your man is proud. When your man is proud, he loves what he has. He protects what he has when he has these situations. And that's when you, as a woman, as a man, as a family, as a community, that's when we'll be better. When we actually care about each other. It starts with fathers. It starts with the relationship and the children.
So that was my man Tommy Sotomayor, Fatherless America. You know, very emotional documentary. Very it just shows you that how pushed to the side men have been in this day and age. You can get his movie on fatherlessamerica.com or his website, tjskoc.com or amazon.com. I strongly suggest that you see it. I've seen it. See the movie. See the documentary. It's something that we all need to see. At Bolo TV, we're trying to give you a one-stop shop of information on better life, a better way of living, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. We believe in the wellness of those 4 sections of our lives. So I know I said that I'm going to be bringing aboard a nutritionist that also suffers from depression, like most of us on this channel, or most of us that tune in. And he is going to teach us about what foods can help make you feel better. Because there are foods, I've read this, that there are foods that can make you feel better that do affect us chemically, emotionally also, of how, some foods make us feel negative and makes some foods that make us feel positive. So he's going to be talking to us about that. I'm working out the finer details to bring that to you guys. We're going to be bringing lawyers, doctors on the show to give us advice on how to deal certain issues. Again, this channel is for the mentally ill. We're a safe place here at Bolo TV. We believe in total anonymity. We believe in you coming up here and speaking how you feel and just getting you help, because you might be at that point where you can't talk to anybody and you think that your friends or your family might look at you as weak. We don't do that here. We don't look at you as weak. We look at you as a brother or a sister or a child that needs help. And that's what we're here to do. We don't judge you here. There is no judgment here. We all fall short of the glory of God. All of us do. There's no one special. We're all susceptible to it. So, my man Drizzle, he said, hold on something. Yeah, I just mod you up, Drizzle. He just said, for those watching, opening up is hard. We know, but feel free to call in using the link. I'll put the link in. Thank you, Drizzle. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here that, you know, sometimes you may not be able to afford a therapist. You know, we're here to listen to each other, man. You may not get the answer. With this, I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that you'll feel better when you get off this line. And I'm sure that if all of us at Bolo TV, because we make Bolo TV, all of us, I guarantee you we can figure something out. Guarantee you. So with that being said, we're here also for our military families that suffer, that suffer from our soldiers out there fighting for our freedom and has fallen. Sometimes you may need someone to talk to. Your wife may be over in battle, or your husband may be over in battle, and you lose them. Your child. We're here for you guys. We're also here for you too, because mental illness comes in many shapes. Depression comes in many shapes and many forms, and it affects us differently. It could be any reason why we get depressed. We're here to help each other. So, with that being said, I give out this information every time, I stream, so it's not going to stop here. For those of you that are at the brink of thinking of taking your life, I beg you not to. I beg you that you come to Bolo TV and talk to us here. We're here because we're sick the same way you are. We're waiting for Christ to come and give us that healing. So, for those of you that at that point and you don't want to come on Bolo TV, you have the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Their number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255. Now, for those of you that really need to see someone and can't afford it, this next number, the National Helpline, what they do is they direct you to universities where they are training young psychologists and therapists, and they'll talk to you for free. Or they'll talk to you on the line, whichever you want. Their number is 1-800-662-4357. Again, 1-800-662-4357. For those children out there that do not have the example of what I was talking about today, of a good father or good mother or some type of good positive role model in your life, you can go to the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.org. That's their national website. You go on there and find out where their closest Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America club is. And I believe that they're free. I'll get more information on it. But that's where you could go. Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.org. And for those that have fallen wives of military families that have had one of your spouses fall, our condolences to you, and thank you. Thank your family for going out there and fighting for our freedom. We do have a place for you too. It's called Tuesday's Children, and they work with military families specifically. TuesdaysChildren.com. You can look them up and they will help you. It's free. Tuesday's Children. So again, I'll give you these numbers again. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. The National Helpline, 1-800-662-4357. Again, 1-800-662-4357. They're 24 hours a day, both numbers. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and the National Helpline, 24 hours a day. The Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.org. For those of you children that need that example, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America.org. And specifically for our military families, Tuesday's Children. Again, it's called Tuesday's Children, and they specifically work with military families. So what is the conclusion to this? The conclusion to this is, as the channel starts to grow and we start getting more people adding bricks, we're going to start bringing more people to speak. Again, like doctors, lawyers, therapists, psychologists, and also more testimonials of you going through whatever you're going through and overcoming, and maybe your story can help one of our people in the chat and out there in the world. We need to like, share, and subscribe. We need more channels like this because there's a lot of people out there hurting. There's a lot of men, there's a lot of women, there's a lot of children out there hurting, and they have no place to go to articulate and verbalize how they feel without being judged, without being called weak, without being called a punk. We don't do that here. We encourage you to cry. We encourage you to feel. We encourage you to talk. That's what we need more of. We need less shooting, more, less beating, less carjackings, less violence. We need to love each other more. And that's what we do. We love each other here at Bolo TV. Thank you for having me in your homes. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. You like and share and subscribe to all of the nonsense that's on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe to this. A little positive. Doesn't hurt. Can only make us better. And together, we can make this a better place than how we found it. So again, thank you for having me. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Bolo out.